two men who decided that to show support for increased gun rights, they were going to put on, I don't know, sort of a walking protest. And they decided to walk around their neighborhood with assault rifles and pistols visible to everybody, both to show, that they support gun rights and also to scare the shit out of everybody that saw them. We've got a news report. Let's take a look at that.
Warren, Drouin, and Steve Boyce's daring demonstration aimed at education about gun control in America, but ended up creating a state of panic in the Selwood neighborhood.
Are you waiting to have the cops come pick you up?
Employees inside of E-Hair Studio hid in the back room of the salon and locked their doors, while others ran for help for fear the two were really there to cause harm.
So before, we got a lot to say about this. Before we get to that, let's read a couple of quotes from them talking about their behavior. They say that, this is Warren Drouin, by the way, and he is joined by Stephen Boyce. But Warren Drouin said, "We're not threatening anyone. We don't have that kind of criminal behavior. What they should really do is observe the person to determine if the person is aggressive." This is responding to critics that said you can't walk around with guns, as we're going to say in a minute. He goes on to say, "We're not doing anything threatening to anyone." And then we have some information from the YouTube channel that these men apparently are affiliated with, called Marked Guardian, which sounds somewhat ominous. But in any event, one of the descriptions there, the bios for Warren Drouin says, "I trying to normalize firearms in public, and in my opinion, I believe that carry a rifle daily will bring a strong culture in my area." For any of you Always Sunny in Philadelphia fans, it sounds like something that Charlie Kelly would have written. But in any event, they're trying to make a statement. They did.
Yes, they did. I mean, one way to not garner support for guns is to go out into the streets with an AR-15 or whatever assault rifle was on their backs. I mean, in a time like now, in a time like Aurora and Newtown, you can't do that. You can't. You can't try to just use shock therapy and just throw it out there and see what happens. Right, shock and awe. It doesn't work right now. People are scared to death. So many first graders and kindergartens or young kids were just killed not a month ago. So you do that, and people think you're about to do a mass shooting. So in some ways,
it certainly looks like it.
It certainly looks like it, and in some ways, I do think, okay, so the guns are out in the open, so it shouldn't make you more scared because they're out in the open, because if they are actually concealed, it's just as dangerous, right? If not,
it's just as dangerous, except you don't know about it, so you can't be scared.
You don't know about it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We might have to get to a point, as a country, because there are so many guns out there, that it is better to have open carry than concealed carry, because then it's terrifying. Trust me, it's terrifying. I don't like guns. I actually went out on a range for the first time just to get over that hump, and I still don't get it. I still don't get the fascination, but I don't know. There is a little bit of merit, not in the way they did it, but a little bit of merit in having open carry rather than concealed carry. It just seems like if we don't see it, it's not real. No, of course, it's still there.
But in any event, look, let's just give you a little bit more details. This isn't just a one-time thing that they did. The YouTube channel that I talked about earlier has 100 videos of Warren Drouin walking around in public with assault rifles and pistols. That's look, I know how long it takes to produce 100 videos, and we have professional equipment, by the way. For him to do it, that's apparently his day-to-day job, I guess.
Right.
I don't like this. I think that yes, you're going to scare the hell out of people if you're walking around with assault rifles and pistols. Right. I think that people should be worried about it. If I saw two people walking down the street, I would imagine that they're going to.
Of course.
They're going to start something.
It's too soon. It's way too soon.
No. 6 months from now, I don't want to see it.
Of course, and it's that it's a huge semi-automatic weapon, and we align that with mass shootings, rightfully so, because of what's been happening in the past 5 years or so. But I think if you're going to have a handgun, you might as well have open carry. I don't know. I don't know that there's any safety in having it concealed rather than out in the open.
Well, the possibility that someone could conceivably snatch it from you. The fact that when you see a gun, any confrontation that you have is more likely to escalate to further violence.
When you
they talk about
a gun?
No, when you see it. So for instance, if you get into a fight with someone and then somebody pulls out a gun, to the other person, this is now a fight to the death. You might surrender or run away to save your own life.
Sure.
But if you're going to continue the fight, you're not going to punch the guy and then retract your hand and see what he does because he has a gun. Now, you have to get that gun from him or you assume he will kill you. Same thing with a knife. It's not just guns.
But you don't even
it
go
being
there
visible,
with a guy with a gun that is out in the open. Like, you would not even try to
and you
have
don't
a
think that
confrontation.
affects psychologically the person with the gun? It doesn't change how they behave? Look,
I don't think it affects them whether it's concealed or not. The fact that they do have a gun affects the way they operate, but if it's out in the open versus hidden, I don't really see how that would make a difference. I think it would. Look, I get it. Everybody's scared of, or a lot of people are scared of guns. It's just the idea of it's terrifying, but I don't really understand why a concealed carry is worse than open carry.
When it comes to assault rifles?
Assault rifles just shouldn't be out in the, like, out, period.
Okay,
but
then
I'm
we agree
talking
on that
about
at least.
handguns.
Yeah.
We do agree on that at one point.
Yeah, I think that, look, I've been to, I spent a little bit of time living in Egypt. There are, on almost every corner, at least in the neighborhoods that I was in, there are armed guards with assault rifles. It's just everywhere you look, there are people with assault rifles. In Israel, many of the people you see have assault rifles. It's not just random people walking around, but a lot of the people spend a couple of years of their life living in the military, and so you will see a lot of guns around. Nothing against those countries, but I don't want to live in that country. I want to live in America where people are not walking around with bazookas and stuff like that. Like, I think that it creates a threatening environment where if you are the person without the gun and you go out there and people are walking around with assault rifles, you think, well, shit, I guess I got to get an assault rifle too.
Right.
I don't want us to be encouraging other people in the country to feel like they need to be armed. We fought long and hard in this country to be civilized.